Hello. So welcome back to another episode of the Breaking I'm sorry. Breaking Boundaries podcast.
The Breaking Bad.
Sure.
So, this is going well. So today we
Don't get
have
flustered.
Kuba with us.
It's Kuba, actually, not Cuba. Kuba. Laura says it properly. Go on.
I said cube. Just easier.
Actually, probably great first question. How do you say your surname?
Oh, irrelevant.
Okay.
Don't even bother trying.
Okay, amazing. So I have done a little introduction for you because I find it's always really awkward, isn't it? If someone says, tell us about yourself, and then someone sits there, and they just say, well,
boring.
My name's Kuba. So I'll tell everyone that's listening about you, okay? So you're 26, right? That I'm not gonna lie, that does blow my mind a little bit because I'm 25. But 26 years old, IFBB Pro. Not only do you compete as your full-time kind of career, but you also run Ultra Flex Rotherham and you run MK Elite with your fiance, Meg. Very, very successful coaching business. So yeah, you've got quite a portfolio behind you. Don't really know how you got the time, but you love it, don't you?
Make time.
Makes time that doesn't exist.
So let's just, I guess, talk about how are you? Let's just kick that off.
Absolutely fantastic. It's been an eventful evening, but I'm all cheered up now. I'm fine. Yeah, all good. I'm happy to be on the podcast. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Been waiting for this.
Brace yourself, strap in, get the seatbelt on. Let's go.
Oh, great. Okay, so I actually have a question that I've always wanted to ask because so if people didn't know,
Don't have to look at you here, look at you here when it's talking.
No, look at me there.
I'm confused.
Oh yeah, so if you're listening instead of watching it on YouTube,
what flashes, Jesus Christ.
I'm actually
Pull yourself up.
to Cuba right now.
Yeah. Well, obviously.
Yes, they might be listening instead of watching.
Yeah.
Okay. So I came here and I did a little face-to-face check-in, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell them what you think.
Quite significant changes.
Okay.
Very nice. She's just a little bit flat now, but not quite lean enough for it to all be showing just yet. So it's a bit of a shit transition phase where you lose that,
Worst bit.
But you're not quite in condition yet. So I think the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and it all is going to start coming through nicely. So
it's that fat flat, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's going to be more like less fat, just flat, but a little bit more condition. So very soon coming.
Soon come.
Yeah.
So Kuba coaches me currently and has done for 17, 18 months or something like that.
It's been a while. Ridiculous. It's been a while.
But also previously coached Loz, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Sorted my life out.
Sorted your life out. So what would you say is or was the best thing about coaching me and Loz?
Very, very good work ethic. Definitely no issues with adherence. That's the main thing. I think that's the main thing that, you always worry about with people. And with Hannah and Loz, definitely, you've got no doubts. You've got clients that, when the check-in's there, you kind of know who does the do and who doesn't, just through, the feedback for one and through, how much they care about it, how much they love it, and through the results as well. So, adherence has never been an issue. And I think that's the main thing, work ethic, adherence, and, love for the sport as well. And the commitment. So I think they're the main things that I think, make a good athlete, and you both happen to have it. So super happy days.
Yeah. What about the worst things?
Oh, the same thing, really. The same thing.
What?
The same thing. Let me just elaborate on that. So basically with the training side of things, I think you both got the same issues where you kind of try and run before you can walk. So you kind of, you fall out with yourself because you simply try and go in too hard. And I think that's definitely something that holds you both back. And that's something that you've kind of reined it in with, and you've managed to, put your ego aside and make some decent progress now. But it's took legit 12 months to get away from doing that.
Yeah, it takes time. Like, honestly, sometimes I look back at some of the shit I used to send you, and I'm just appalled.
I used to watch Hannah's clips and be like,
spinal.
thinking, Jesus Christ, she's gonna snap in half, like doing squats and literally doing 3 reps that just look like she's just gonna snap in half. Like it's like a deadlift, but she's like grinding these reps out like wow. And the thing is with that though, that's very, very counterproductive when it comes to a long-term progression scheme. So when it comes to training, if you have sessions like this, you've got nowhere to go from. And naturally, we all use a logbook. So you log these reps and then you go into the next session already with a negative mindset because you're not going to be able to hit these reps and hit them targets. And then it just gets worse and worse from down there. The stimulus gets less and you actually get smaller and weaker.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely the biggest thing that we kind of had to learn, that she's only just starting to get the grasp of as well. Sometimes with compound movements, the main movements that do carry that risk, especially with central nervous system, obviously impact that they do have. Sometimes even in your cases, like keeping a rep in the tank is a much better option, which is something that I've been trying to get Hannah to actually do. So, that's the main thing. It can be your own worst enemy when it comes to your work ethic and drive, which you both have ample of, but that's the only issue that can actually, make you actually regress rather than progress in many cases. So I think that's definitely the kind of biggest downfall you may both have.
Yeah, it's a case of like using it wisely, because I think that was the biggest thing that I learned from my prep last year, was like I had to seriously rein it in, because I was still trying to train so hard when at the end of it, and it was just like I was just wasting away by doing that. But like I did learn a lot from it at the end. I think that's what's helping me a lot this off season. Then when we did start off season, I really fucking sorted it out. And that was like when I took that rest and then went back in, and then we made sure that we were like getting everything like absolutely spot on before I started progressing again. But it's like you learn from that prep, don't you? And just like sorting your shit out, especially my first prep as well. Like I was always gonna make those mistakes and learn those lessons. So make lots of them. So
to be fair though, like you're completely right. The fact that I'm 10 weeks in now, and I've probably only just had my first kind of harder days. For 10 weeks in a deficit, that ain't bad. And I think that is just because of how much we've controlled like my recovery and really made sure that I am nailing all my accuracy, which we have touched on like our little catch-up episode, which was released today. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. But yeah, great, good to know. So next question. So we got a couple of questions from people on the gram. Was what is your favorite thing about being a coach? What is?
I think the way I look at it, it's like I live my own bodybuilding, but I can also live it through someone else. So it's like I get the reward from doing this by getting results myself, by doing the do myself, but I can also get it from other people. So for me, it's like you're constantly getting a buzz that you get from like your own training, but through other people as well, seeing them succeed, seeing them kind of progress. Like, people always like, all coaches always say like, I love helping people. I'm like, fuck off, mate. Like, for me, it's a little bit different, like, because just helping people, like we're not fucking medics. We're not like helping people in need. Like we're not. At the end of the day, we're coaches for bodybuilders. Like it's a privilege to do it. It's a sport, whatever. But for me, it's more the progress. And for me as well, it's like learning different shit and just improving constantly. Like what I did a year ago, what I did 2 years ago is a lot different than what I'm doing now, because I'm constantly learning. So for me, it's progression that I see with myself, but not only myself, but what I can do with other people as well. That's really for me. It's like, for me, it's not about helping people. Like it's not about, other things that are involved with benefits. It's more the progression side of things, because I feel like in many cases, working with people, I improve myself because I'm seeing so many form clips. I'm seeing so many people react certain ways when they're prepping, when they're in off season. So it almost creates a blueprint for myself, because the more changes I see with people, the more different things I see with people, it creates almost like patterns that I see. and then it almost becomes like second nature. So after so many years of doing it, like sometimes all it takes is just to look at someone, you know what's happening.
Yeah.
So I think that's the most rewarding thing for me, really. It's
think
being able to like see that with just looking at someone, you know. I think that's kind of, you know, quite cool.
I think that's one of the things that made me choose you as a coach, because you're so able to kind of stand back and be like, yeah, I wasn't doing that a couple of months ago, but now I am, because I've got the results, or I've got that experience from it. And not a lot of people can actually stand there and say, like, not necessarily they were wrong, but yeah, I'm learning and I'm growing with it and I'm going with it.
Yeah, but that's what it is. You learn from your mistakes. I always say that, you know, like if I didn't learn from mistakes and I just stuck to my guns, I'd be an idiot, really. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. They're so narrow-minded. They just lack an open mind when it comes to this. And I think that's mainly down to having a massive ego, you know, basically saying they're right and everyone else is wrong. And that's not the case, because I feel like every person that's out there, every educator that's out there probably has something valuable that we can take away from them. But it just depends what it is, you know, that you can take that's going to, you know, benefit you, improve your knowledge and improve your service as well, and improve you as an athlete as well in general.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how much of like a cognitively and like mentally demanding job it is. Because like a lot of people think, oh, you just sat on your phone, or you just sat on your laptop or whatever, but you're fucking thinking about shit all the time. And it's not so much just thinking about doing the job. It's like everything you look at, because that relates so much to what you do every single day, makes you think about your processes, the way you think about something. Like you're always thinking and always developing. And that's the fucking cool thing about it. It's not just doing a job, like I go in, get the job done, get my check-ins done. Like you're actually thinking and like progression shit like all the time.
Honestly, I think obviously we do have different jobs, but I think that's the reason why I love what I do as well, because every single day I'm going in and I'm learning something new, something more, and then I'm able to then put what I've learned from a couple of weeks ago into like the next couple of weeks or months to come. So yeah, I think it's really rewarding, isn't it, when you're able to do that?
Yeah, I think in a way as well, like it was something that I think I spoke to AJ about, and I think you two spoken about it before, is that because you do a job like that as well, you're able to also notice a lot of things about yourself. It's like particularly things like when you need like deload and stuff, because you can like understand, one, you'll notice it in other people, but you really, really understand the signs. And like, you notice like with your work and stuff, when things start to drop off, you can really like pick up on those signals like so quick. Like you just can like really pick things up like so much faster than you potentially wouldn't do in like another situation as well. Yeah.
100%, definitely agree with that. It's like your concentration is a lot different. Like when you're fresh, your brain's a lot clearer, you're so much more productive as well. So as soon as that starts to decline, that's another sign of fatigue, you know.
Do you find that your coaching can get in the way of your training? Or do you like, because if I were you, like I would always, I guess, prioritize my training first, right?
So if I didn't prioritize my training, my coaching quality would suffer, because I would end up thinking, fuck this is shit, because it's taken away from something that I love. So it doesn't work like that, in my opinion. I think as long as you've got a good balance of managing to, you know, still get your shit done and do your own bit, I think that's perfect. But in terms of like coaching taking away from training, I don't think that there's another job that would potentially take less away from training than coaching, because, well, for some people anyway, some people it might be, you know, a little bit different. It just all depends how much care you've got for it as well, because some people just don't give a fuck. You know, if they just, you know, give you a couple of one-worded replies to emails and that's it, you crack on. They can do 100 check-ins a day, no dramas, you know. So it's a little bit different when, you know, you've got a check-in, you've got form clips, then you've got pictures post-workout, you've got all this and that, you know. It's a lot different. And, you know, multiply that one person, you know, it's just think about how much time you spend on one person versus, you know, what you can handle. So I think that's the main thing. It's just all about how you can manage it yourself, and then just find that threshold that doesn't affect you.
But I know that you have like really prioritized your routine a lot more since like this. It was like towards the end of your prep and then like going into this off season, really like changing like when you're doing your work, like prioritizing your work when your brain function is at its best. And it's like, once you change that routine, you really understand. I know you're so passionate about it. I can see it in your face now, but it is one of those things that makes a huge difference. And like, even I look back at my off season last year, I just think, Jesus, like my routine was trash. Like I never went to bed at the same time. I used to wake up just whenever. Like, oh, it just blows my mind that I thought that I was doing everything right just because I was training and hitting all my meals, when my routine was just a load of shit.
Yeah, I always speak about this to clients. It's not just about ticking the boxes, it's how you tick the boxes, it's quality of what you do. You have a shit routine, you're never going to progress as a bodybuilder. You're never going to make, sorry, you will, but the progress you make versus when your routine is perfect is probably 50%. That's what I found. And, there's a lot of bodybuilders out there that are like, staying up till fucking God knows. And do you know what? I used to do that, and it was just wank, unproductive. I was doing work at stupid times. It was pathetic, to be honest. Looking back, it's embarrassing, but it is what it is. I've done it, been there, made the mistakes. You move on, you learn from it. And now, ever since I've locked my routine in, really, my productivity has been through the roof. And, it's just allowing me to have a much better balance, do more, and just feel better as well in general.
How is your prep going, actually? Because
really
how
good.
deep are you now?
12 weeks out this weekend, I think. Yeah, 12 weeks out. Is it 12
For
weeks
the
out?
Arnold's?
I'm pretty sure it's 12 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's going good. It's going good.
Oh.
Probably in the best position I've been in, to be honest, at this far out. So all feeling great. We just started a new training setup, so happy days.
Have you done that with Nick Goff?
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. So
do you mind talking about that a little bit, maybe?
Yeah. So the split's a lot different to anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to try it, to be honest, see how it goes. At the end of the day, something me and Mark Coles spoke about on a call. If you want to be an extraordinary coach, you have to experience extraordinary coaching. I've worked with some greatest coaches. I've worked with Stefan, Jordan. So training side of things, I feel like there is no other people on earth that are as passionate about training as Nick is.
Yeah, unreal.
Not just that, but it's not just knowledge in the trenches, but it's also academic knowledge that he's got.
Yeah.
So it's definitely up there for me to kind of learn from, and definitely, improve on the areas that I need to improve on, not just as a bodybuilder, but as a coach as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like many people value that. People think like, why is he a coach? Why is he getting someone else to coach? A couple of reasons, like how he meant to learn to really, truly like level up your own service if you're not going to receive that yourself. And two, how are you meant to evolve if you're not really learning from people that are doing better than you in terms of training? When I look at Nick, the way he's moving certain movements, the way he's applying himself in training, I've never seen anyone on earth being able to do that. So I want to be able to do that. So it's a no-brainer for me. At the end of the day, I'm a coach as well. So a little bit of pressure taken off me from doing my own programming. I think that's another benefit as well. So I don't have to think about that. I've got a plan in front of me. I know exactly what I need to do. I get it done. And then all I've got to worry about then is just looking after my clients. That's it. Rather than, on top of that, having to think about my own training programming, I'm happy to do that. But, I feel like if there's something that I can learn from someone, I'll do it, because I'd be a fool not to. I've only got a limited time. I've only got a limited time doing this as a bodybuilder. I've only got a limited time doing this as a coach, realistically. You never know how it's going to look in 5 years. So for me to do that, it's just benefits, no negatives, to be honest. And if people think, oh, like, why is he getting a coach? Like, they just clearly don't understand how these things work.
Ignorant comment.
Yeah. But you see it all the time on Facebook from just people that just make no progress. They just like to all that shit. And it's just like, you just don't have a clue. So.
And I'll never understand how people can make comments when they've got absolutely nothing themselves to back up. Like when they just nothing themselves, it just makes no sense. But that's going to be really, really exciting to see. And I think it's also going to be refreshing for a lot of people to see you be open to different approaches and learn different things as well. I think it's something that, like, in the industry is just a good message to put out, because you see people like constantly saying like, no, this is right, or this is right. But like, there's just so many different fucking things that you can do. So like, fair enough if you think one thing, but equally be open to understanding why somebody else thinks something else? Like, why would you not want to see things from a different perspective or understand that there's potentially a different way that you could do something?
Like the best way is just look at results. At the end of the day, if someone's got something to say, then look at the results they're producing, and then just take your own kind of take what you wish from that. Really, I think there's definitely a lack of open-mindedness, because there's so many different camps when it comes to training, peaking, dieting, whatever, drugs. So many different camps that are just stuck in their own ways, and I'd rather never be like that. I'd rather be the person that's like, right, there literally isn't just, one way suits all approach, which it isn't. I'd rather make sure that, I can tick every box and know exactly what I can do with all these different methods as well.
Yeah. Kind of like on that note, I know you said like you don't know where things could be in like 5 years' time. Like, where do you actually think you would be? Like, do you want to really, really see things progress from like the coaching, like that business side of things, or is it more so like to do with the gym, or like where do you think you'll be from a bodybuilding standpoint with your own career? Like, where do you see yourself in that side of things?
Everything I'm doing now, but just on a higher scale and a bigger scale, and a better scale, I think, as well. So already, like from a year from now, the caliber of clients that I'm working with is a lot higher, which makes me much happier, because for me, I can only work with certain people, and I've had to tell people, beforehand,
what do you
quite a few people, I just tell them, look, I'm not the right fit for you. And I've said it to a few girls before, said it to a few lads before, and I'm not scared to say it either. I specifically want to work with certain individuals, and that's, higher end caliber of athlete, natural or assisted, not people that are just starting off, not lifestyle clients. This is why I've kind of developed the brand, because, some lifestyle people still want to get, the coaching. But now the way it works is I set the program, and, there's coaches like Meg and obviously Danny and Scarlett that are going to be taking care of the lifestyle people instead, so that's the one for me. So, in 5 years time, definitely more gyms. There's another gym on the way already, which is going to be open in January. So, and then coaching side of things, again, I want to push not much more, the numbers side of things, which many people like to do. It's more the quality side of things.
Who you coaching as well.
I think that's the main thing for me, really.
And that'll only continue to make you like more passionate about it as well. It's like the more high caliber athletes that you work with, you'll just fucking love it more and more. So that's absolutely immense.
Because it's different with like, and it's not even so much high caliber athletes, it's more people that are certain way inclined, people like that have got the work ethic, people that want to get the job done, because it feels like such a breeze.
If they're excited, if they're passionate.
The thing is, it just makes my whole day just fucking exciting when it's like that. So it's just a lot different, and I'm hoping to be there, very soon. So just got to keep going.
Yeah, definitely will be. That's mint though. But like, where do you see things with yourself, like with your own bodybuilding journey?
So I've set a goal to do Olympia by the time I'm 30.
Oh yeah.
So I'll make that happen. If I don't make that happen, I'll stop competing.
That's a definite.
What?
Are you
definitely going to stop if you don't make it happen by 30?
100%, yeah. I'll not compete again.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I don't make Olympia by 30, I'm done. 100%.
But obviously, you would then continue just bodybuilding.
Oh yeah, I'll just continue bodybuilding,
compete.
But I just wouldn't compete.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about?
I was gonna say, would you like continue obviously bulking and then?
Probably not. I'd probably just do TRT and then just stay fit and in shape.
Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't
you
push
wouldn't take
now.
those extremes.
Nah. What's the point if I'm not, if I'm not doing Olympia by then? So I turned 27 end of July, so I've got 3 years.
Yeah.
That's including the year when I actually turned 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 years, 3 full years.
Right.
Quite like that though.
Yeah, no pressure.
It's exciting.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be great.
What do you think, like in years' time? Like, obviously, you're still always going to train. Like, there's no way that you wouldn't be able to train. But like, do you think there's going to come a point where you're going to have to back off with the training to save your joints? Are you going to be able to do that?
Ever since I've started training in a different way, my joints have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like
Your knee's been much better like this year compared to last year, hasn't it?
I've had zero issues at all. Like after I did my last run in Cybex, I pulled the Cybex straight away when my knees started feeling tender. So if you train smart and you really are in tune with your body, you should never really have joint issues. If you've got joint issues, you're simply training too heavy or your programming's wrong.
Well, yeah, do you remember when I first started with you, I used to have really, really bad knees. Like they would swell up like all the time.
That's because you use your knee quads.
Yeah. So my leg press, it used to just be knees. I never used to actually engage any kind of muscle. So I completely
you only don't have longevity if you're just, you know, taking things too far, or if you're not accurate. If you're accurate, you're doing your mobility work, you're doing your prehab work, you know, you're taking care of your programming, your periodization as well, then you should never really have issues. Because you should recognize these issues happening before, and then you should have been pinpointed TV execution, too much volume or too much load. You know, it's just as simple as that. At the end of the day, when you're training, we're trying to create a stimulus. If all you're feeling is your joint, there is no stimulus. So if it's a specific movement, or if it's something in the background that's causing it, you have to pinpoint the issue, get that sorted, and then move on.
Yeah, and it's so important that you're also open to actually wanting to solve that issue, because you get it like so many times when people are like, oh, my knees are bad, my knees are bad, I can't squat, I can't leg press. And it's like, yeah, but are your knees actually bad? Or is it something else that you want to solve? And a lot of the time, like, you get those people who don't want to admit that there's a problem with something that they're doing. It's like when people say that they've got IBS when they've not got IBS, and they're just not, they're eating like shit, the digestion shit, they're like laid down when they're eating like they're having a Pepsi Max while they have their fucking meal. It's like people are so easy to like pick an excuse or make a reason for something without actually wanting to address what the issue is.
100%. And it happens all the time with diet and training.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, there's longevity either way. You just have to, you know, think critically about what you're doing. Lots of people do it with like meal timings, you know, putting meals together, even on prep, just doing, as long as you hit your macros, that's all that matters. Like even people think that in off season, I'm like, dude, you've clearly never ever had a proper off season to really be able to, you know, push hard. If you just think meeting your macros is all that matters, like these people are deluded, because, you know, that's okay for normal people, but if you're eating performance, that is not okay by all means.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's like, fair enough if you want to do stuff like that, but then don't also say that you want to win a pro card or you want to win a show, because the fact is, like, not everyone wants to do like they do, like people just don't. But if you don't want to do that, then you don't need to compete. Like, you don't need to do that if that's not what you truly want to do at the end of the day. So if you want to be better, like, you'll always be willing to do something to be better, or to find out what you can do to improve things, rather than just choosing to like ignore it. Like, if you truly want to be better, you'll always take on that advice or always take on that criticism. And that's just the reality of it.
Your actions have to reflect your goals, as everyone says always.
What do they?
True though, isn't it? Everyone always says it on Instagram, the actions have to reflect your goals, but half the time the people that say it don't do that. I'm like, okay. Sound, bro. Keep going.
No. So the next kind of question that I got was actually from Caitlin. So she asked how to balance pushing for condition whilst trying not to lose muscle, assisted and non-assisted. Obviously, you've already
don't get too fat.
Okay. I was about to say, obviously, you've already touched on the fact that it is going to be completely person dependent.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, case study wise, you can, like, I guess, take me for natural.
Assisted or natural, you should approach your prep as a natural.
How to push for condition.
So you push for condition by not pushing for condition. If you start your prep in a position where you know you've got 50, 60 pounds to lose, then, you know, assisted or not, you are going to end up losing muscle. It's inevitable with such a big weight loss. So, you know, the main thing is the biggest mistake people make is just simply getting too fat. I've been there so many fucking times. And Whether natural or assisted, I don't care. It all works the same. Assistance, just assistance. That's what it's called, assistance. It doesn't dictate anything. It shouldn't ever dictate decisions in many cases. The only decision it will dictate is how hard you push, because different variables will change in prep, where sometimes you won't see a visual scale move, but you will see a massive visual improvement in condition due to the assistance. That's the only thing that's the difference. But, you know, that's only in cases if you are introducing new assistance or extra assistance during prep. So there's so many different things that go into it that does change the kind of, you know, method and the way you go. But the simple thing is just don't get too far. Your starting position has to be decent. Otherwise, unfortunately, you are going to have to work hard. And, you know, the harder you have to push and prep, you know, the more your body's probably going to fight back. And then, you know, there's such things as obviously not recognizing your fatigue. Then the more tired you are, the more inflamed you are, the more water you hold, and the less body fat you lose. It's just as simple as that. This is why I see so many people run themselves into the ground. And then, you know, they're in a massive deficit, but they're not losing weight. How? You know, it's impossible. Well, if you're so inflamed and you're holding so much water and you're so fucked, then your body will just release so much shit and so much different hormones that will just not allow you to drop anything. Your body almost goes into a defense mode. And that's what your body's designed to do. Your body's designed to protect itself. So the more pressure you give it, whether it's training, whether it's diet, if something's too harsh and you're pushing it too hard, your body will just act to survive. It's as simple as that. It's common sense. So, you know, the best way to approach things assisted or natural is simply start your prep in a good position. Don't get too fat. You know, don't get to a point in off season where you're just pushing weight, pushing body weight for the sake of pushing body weight. You're not getting a pump on, but you're still eating. Like, it's unproductive. You have to think critically again about what you are doing. And I think everyone's got a sweet spot at which to feel the best, to perform the best. It varies person to person a lot, but at the end of the day, if you are doing bodybuilding, if you want to start prep, then start in a fat state as well. You will not be able to get in shape easily. I'll tell you that now, because sometimes when you take it past a certain threshold with your body fat as well, it takes so fucking much for your body to actually move and start adapting. So you end up just dieting on dust, which is just because you've took your body so far out. Your body just wants to hold on to that more shit. So, and another thing is, you know, amount of estrogen your body produces naturally when you're holding so much body fat. It's ridiculous. So, you know, there's so many little things that go into it. So if you want to have a good prep and not lose any muscle, you know, start lean and start in a position where your expenditure is fairly low and your food is fairly high as well. And again, that's going to be very much individual.
Yeah. If you had an individual who came to you who was in that position, so say they had like 50, 60 pounds to drop and they were like, I want to compete, like I want to do prep, would you like favor doing like a mini diet with that person and then like having to hold them for a bit and then bringing them down from there? Is that what you were kind of doing?
I've done it with a girl just now, and we've pretty much done a 30-week prep. So it was a prep and a 4-week diet break. And in that 4 weeks, we actually managed to bring her calories up quite significantly without her scales actually going up.
Okay.
So she's basically at a point now where she's ready to like restart a prep. She's perfect. So, but that has to be done over like 30 weeks, which you think about it, it's like nearly more than half a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a long time. If you are super out of shape, that's what you're going to have to do. And out of the gate as well, if you are holding that much, I would be inclined to say you have to push quite hard out of the gate straight away. Boom. Get a big response straight away, because your body's going to be so saturated. It's not going to want to move. Like, you can afford small manipulations if someone's already responsive. If someone isn't responsive, you have to fucking throw at them just to get them moving.
Yeah. Makes sense, that. Next question, Hannah.
I think that was actually all we got. Oh, actually, well, so we got, how would you decide which class that you fit? So if you think about like Phoebe, for example, like she's done both, hasn't she? So
yeah, but she's done figure at a very low level.
Yeah.
So that's no disrespect, by the way. I'm not being a cunt by saying that.
No.
You know, she's done figure at a level where IFBB bikini girls are actually bigger than these girls.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a difference, and it all depends on the level at which you're competing at.
For sure.
So it just depends, like, what fed are you doing? What level are you competing at? You know,
Are you natural?
Are you natural? Are you assisted? Whatever. Like, it's going to vary a lot because, you know, the competition standard is going to dictate like what standard you've got to be and what potentially what category you're going to do as well.
Yeah.
So it's common sense with a category. You know, you get lean and then try the poses out. If you look daft, you know that's not the category for you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it's very much common sense, and that's where you have to be real with yourself and realistic with yourself. You know, if you don't have wide hip structure, if you don't naturally have a big arse, you've got no business trying to do wellness. You know,
which is every goal right now.
Yeah, like girls doing wellness. I kid you not.
The amount
I kid you not. There's girls saying they've grown out of bikini doing wellness, and I kid you not, 99% of my bikini girls have got twice the muscle they have.
Have you seen the amount
like wait till they come down and
total delusional. It's just
when you actually look at top tier wellness girls, like
the problem
you must be out of your mind if you think that you can do that if you're not genetically.
The problem is, I'll give you the biggest example, right? Loads of girls was upset when Liz Richardson won her bikini other day, right? Yeah. Richardson, she's pretty stacked.
Yeah.
She is what true bikini is.
Yeah.
Problem is, in England, the standard is so shit. No disrespect, but it is. Yeah. When you compare it to the shows abroad, where bikini girls turn up and they are literally like mini figure girls, and then the girls from England go abroad and they don't place when they win in British finals. So that's the biggest difference. So, you know, these girls are spitting dummies out saying that Liz were too big, whatever. No, she's perfect. She's perfect bikini. Problem is, you girls are just too small. Like, you barely look like you train. Like, this is the problem. Like, in England, we've got great standard for men, but women necessarily, it's not that great compared to like other countries in Europe especially.
Yeah, I agree.
You see these girls, like the figure girls, the bikini girls, they're unbelievable. Like, and this is the standard that people should work off, not, you know, the standard that we have here, because it's not realistic. Like, it's not real. Like, and even if these girls get pro card, they do pro shows and they just come nowhere because the pros are immense. Like, problem is, these people don't go to these shows. They don't go abroad. They don't even look at pictures from the shows abroad. Like, all you've got to do is just look at the standard, look at the pictures. The Bahamas pro, I posted on my story the lineup.
Yeah. It's mad.
The
thing that you've pointed out time after time, though, is that
I'll tell you this now, right? I'll tell you this now. If these girls did figure poses,
they could do it.
Finals,
they'd win.
They would win.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing that I was going to say that you've pointed out is that people take a quick glance at these bikini girls, right? And they'll go, oh, she's not that big. But the thing they don't realize is that they're just stood there, to be honest. They're pretty much just stood there, right? And they're just fucking dense. Like, they're so big and dense. And you see these girls and they're literally getting on stage and they're literally like breaking their back. They're like trying to do all this to try and get some glutes. And it's like, they're literally just stood there and their glutes are just there. Like, they don't even
realize like the judging criteria isn't, you're not meant to like bend your spine. You're not meant to show ribs. Like, it's not a rib show. Like, this is what annoys me the most. And people don't like it. Like, you're not supposed to show your ribs. Like, it's bodybuilding. And the thing is, they only show the ribs because they're trying to like create shape and create the muscle that isn't there. You have a look at the lineup from every single top 10 pro show. Not a single girl is showing ribs. They're stood there straight, turning to the side with foot positioning individually, whatever. And it's the same with figure girls. Like, look at the standard of figure girls. It's ridiculous. Like, so here in England, we need to be realistic, like with the goals. Like,
we need to catch
up. It's, you know, this is where people, you know, need to get told the home truths, unfortunately.
You know what I've actually really appreciated was, obviously, Erin went to the Bahamas, didn't she?
Yeah.
And she's literally stood there and said, like, there was someone that was 42 pounds heavier than her. Yeah. She was like, she's just, obviously, she knows she wasn't ready. Like, she knows she wasn't at that kind of caliber yet. So she then knows that she's got to come back and basically fight for it to like grow as much as possible. She didn't go out there thinking that, you know, she was going to be placing first and second or whatever. She went out there to put the feelers out there to see kind of what position she would be in.
They're just on another level, like absolute other level. Like even like it's like saying, like I remember Meg said that Rhea had said to her that when she was stood backstage at Olympia, she was stood with the bikini girls and just like swear down like some of them were like almost like bigger than her.
Yeah, well, like there were. That's the thing. Like people have got all these goals, like they're saying, you know, they want to go to Olympia, whatever. But like they need to see these people in person. Like I have, you know, and honestly, some of these women are fucking bigger than me. So, kid you not, the women bodybuilders in Romania, the legs, I have never seen legs like that in my life. The legs were bigger than the men's. So
mad, fucking mad. Yeah. So there you go. Be realistic about what class you want to compete in.
100%. Like, you know, deep down, like it's the worst ones for it's classic still. You know, so many small guys doing classic. Like just because you can do a vacuum, just because you can twist the side and pose, doesn't make you classic, unfortunately. Like it really doesn't. So
but equally on that note, if you want to do a class and if you think you're suited for it, fucking do it, because I got loads of stick when I wanted to move up to figure. Like literally I had quite a lot of people saying horrible things, but at the end of the day, like we spoke about it, like we knew it was the right thing going forwards in terms of like where my shape is. And I also knew that I was a fucking million miles off, but willing to put the work in. So like also if you genuinely have like good advice from people who know what they're talking about, like if that's what you want to do, don't be put off from that, but equally don't be delusional if your goal is genuinely like not realistic.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, important thing there.
Very important thing.
Well, we'll see when I get on stage, and I look absolutely tiny. So
yeah, you won't at all.
You
know how much you've grown this off season. It's been outrageous.
It's all right.
Exciting to see.
Be fine.
But yeah, that's all I've got.
That's all right. Unless Kuba wants to add anything else.
Questions for us?
Do I have any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, give us some questions. Turn the tables.
I don't know.
Go on then, what's your plans? 5 years, 5-year vision for both of you.
Come on, Loz, you go first.
No, I want you to go first.
Okay.
Good.
So
Shut the up.
5-year vision. So in all honesty, I've said this before, haven't I? I'm taking it season by season because I have no idea how I'm going to even look this year in the natural federations. And in all honesty, this year is going to be a bit of a dip in the toe because there's quite a lot of changes within, like there's no longer the fit body, so I'm going to be in women's physique. Like I know I still have a hell of a lot of growth to do, but I also know that the past year has been obviously quite successful.
Very productive.
So I would say that this year is not really going to be like, I'm not going to say not much, but it's going to be next year that's going to be like the, I think, year for me, if that makes sense, where I'm actually going to come on stage and be like, yeah, I feel like I'm very competitive now. But 5 years, again, it just depends, doesn't it? Depends what happens next year. I would obviously like to be a natural pro. Depending on then if my progress stalls, etc., whether I kind of go down the other route, but who knows?
That's something like you ever think that you might do?
It's just one of them, isn't it? Like right now, it's not my focus, it's not my goal, but I'm also I'm not naive enough to say like, no, never. But right now, it's definitely not something I'm thinking about. And then obviously career-wise, I've just had that like kind of promotion, haven't I, going into specialist, so I need to kind of get my knowledge up on chromatography and the systems that I am currently working in. So but I'd love to continue to progress through that, and then I actually really would love to continue with the posing side of things and really make it something, like really make that a brand, which cool. I am going to put that work in, and I am doing that work now, but it's just going to be a slow burner, that one, but I'm excited for it and I'm really enjoying that side of things. So yeah, that's kind of my 5 years.
That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, and just be like, I'm not really asked about money, but I want to be financially like, oh, I want to go here, I'm going to go here, you know.
Freedom.
Yeah. What about you?
I'll say it, like I want to win a British title. That's like I really want to do that. That's an absolute given. Whenever it is, like I want to achieve that. Obviously, at the minute, my goals are looking towards like 2023. So whether that's 23, 24, like even by when I complete in 2023, I'll be 22, 23 by that point. So like I've still got plenty of time to do that. But even from that point, I don't know if I will stay in figure, because to be honest, like I want to just keep growing. So even if I just grow and I want move into women's bodybuilding in the natural feds, like that would be immense. Like I'd absolutely love that. But I'd have to grow like a decent amount to do that. But if I think like I want to keep competing for like another 10 years, like there's no reason why I couldn't get to that standard if I want to. So that's kind of like my view on it. Like I don't think, oh, I want to be the best figure athlete. I just want to be the best bodybuilder. Wherever I sit, when I decide to prep and when I come down, like I'll compete in that class. But like my views have like shifted massively. Like I just want to bodybuild. I just want to be the best bodybuilder that I can be. So that's what I want to kind of do on the competing side of things. With like personal side, like I obviously really want to keep growing the coaching. I think like my whole view on life has shifted a lot in the past year. Like I just have a very, very positive outlook on life and kind of like what I can achieve. So I really want to grow the coaching side of things. Where that kind of takes me with other business as well, I don't know. Like I've got my business degree that I need to finish next year as well. So there's so many different directions that I could take things on. Kuba helped me make that decision as well. So thanks, Kuba. So I've got that to finish. Also, like with my coaching as well, I wouldn't have even started my coaching if it wasn't for Kuba, because he actually told me to start that as well.
Right. So, Kuba told me to start doing posing sessions.
He also set me up with AJ. So he's basically set up my whole life for me.
Always giving back.
But things like literally like my whole like view on life is just constant progression. Like whatever it is, I like learn to view life differently, like every single month. Like it's insane how much it shifts when you kind of give yourself that mindset. So just constant progression. I don't know where the fuck I'll be in 5 years. I could be in a completely different place, but
exactly that. I think
that's really ahead than you think.
Yeah, I think that's really important though, because I think when people say 5 years, like you can almost fucking limit yourself, can't you? And be like, oh yeah, I want to be at this point. Well, what if you're there next year? So yeah, no, that's exciting, Loz. And I think everyone listening will definitely be excited to watch that journey stage anyway.
Yeah, long way away, but strap in. But you are.
A lot can happen in 5 years.
Yeah, that's true. A lot. So we'll check back in 5 years.
That means I'll be 30.
Believe me now, I'll be 31.
I'll be 20. I'll be 25, guys.
Like, do we look like similar age?
I look like your dad.
You actually do. You actually do.
Just wait another 5 weeks when like my face gets slimmer.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep the beard this year?
Oh, when I get lean, I'm going to shave beard off.
Yeah, I think it looks better. Yeah.
When I get lean, the tash comes out. So I might.
Same.
Yeah, same. I'll shave that in like 3 weeks' time when the face gets a bit slimmer.
Plan it in.
Yeah.
Didn't last time though, weren't you just planning to trim it and then Meg fucked it up and then you had to take it all off?
Yeah. Yeah. She slipped and it just took half my face off.
I reckon.
To be fair, I was doing my hair the other day and I shaved off my eyebrow. It's actually drawn on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like my bad eyebrow as well.
Look at it.
It is because I've got a scar there as well. So like a bit of it don't grow anyway. So yeah.
So, on last note as well, I just want to ask, are you excited for Meg's prep this year as well?
Yeah, she looks sick. Took some pictures earlier. She's going to look a lot better than she thinks she is. So I can't wait to like rub it in her face.
I can't wait to see it, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't
It's
wait
going
to
to be fucking unreal.
Yeah, we had a good push. She's super fresh, super healthy, so ready to fucking go. Can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Well,
on the 5-year plan though, just to give you a bit of a point of view, I was in a lot different place 5 years ago than I am now.
I know.
A lot can happen in 5 years, so don't set limitations.
See, yeah.
No limits. No limits.
We're breaking boundaries. That's what we're doing.
Breaking boundaries, literally breaking boundaries. That was very good.
That was terrible. That's it. I can't go on any longer. But but yeah, it's been a really, really good episode. Thank you so much for coming on.
Best
to
episode yet,
yeah, it's actually.
We'll have a look at the listenings. The listeners.
minus one view.
But yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. It's been an awesome one. Me and Hannah both really appreciate you as a person, as a coach, and everyone else really appreciates you in the industry as well. So it's been awesome. And thank you so much to everyone for listening as well, as always. And we will be back again next week.
Bye.